And we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm going to give it a couple of
Hi.
seconds. We
Sure.
are live, I think. Yep. Okay, fabulous. We are here for another Monday Night Live, guys, with the lovely Kayla Douglas. Oh, you're Lewis now, aren't you? Kayla Douglas-Lewis?
Yes, but my last name is Douglas, and it's in the business name. We decided to just hyphen it. So, yes.
I'm the
Abigail
same.
did.
I'm Abigail Lewis Savage. Lewis was my
Yeah.
maiden name, and Savage is my married name. I was like, it's in the business name. Now it's going to have to stay. Yes, so
Yep.
Kayla Douglas-Lewis from Kayla Douglas Artistry, and we are so excited to have you on.
Hello, I'm very excited to be here. What?
Sorry, there's a lag. We're going to keep interrupting each other the old stream. I'm so sorry. I always forget to introduce me and Christy as well, because I just assume people know who we are. But obviously, there's lots of people that you brought here that won't know who we are either. So I'm Abigail from Abigail Lewis Photography, and this is Christy, my sister. Do you want to introduce yourself, Christy? Because you seem mute.
Do you know what? Whenever we do this, Abigail will introduce like the business, and then she'll introduce who we've got as a guest. I'm just such a like, hi, I am here. So I'm Christy. I am also a part of Abigail Lewis Photography. So I do all like the admin bits, and I do the posing, and I do, what do I do? Talk to customers.
Selling.
I do the selling, because Abigail, if it was up to her, she'd give everything away for free. So I'm there to put a stop to that.
It's hard sometimes. So yeah, so that's who we are. But Kayla, can you introduce yourself and what you do, please?
Sure. Hi, I'm Kayla of Kayla Douglas Artistry and Kayla Douglas Bridal. I'm a couture designer that specializes in photography angel wings and very high quality angel wings and couture props that you can use, like the headdress and everything behind me. And I also am a gown designer, so this gown behind me as well.
Very good wings. I just want to add.
Thank you.
We absolutely love our wings.
And that's how we wasn't it? We're gonna keep going back and forth. I'm so sorry. What did you say, Christy? I said, and that's how we met, wasn't it? We bought a set of fabulous wings from you in WPPI at the beginning of this year. Yes, you even came to my Airbnb to come pick them up. It was amazing. You were like, I have to get them. I'm going to come up. And so it was amazing. You two are so awesome. So thank you for inviting me. And you guys also got some really amazing pictures at the dry lake beds, didn't you? We did. We couldn't wait to
We had a whale of a time.
Literally, we came and picked them up off you and drove straight there. We had to try them out straight away.
I don't know if we tagged you in. I don't know if we tagged you in Christy's photos, because we took them straight to the dry lake bed and did a test shoot with Christy first. And I don't think those photos ever saw the light of day.
No, I don't think they did.
Have you posted them?
No. Do you know why? Because we did a test shoot with the silk before we picked up the wings. And then we picked the wings up the following day. I don't think I wore them today.
Oh, that's upsetting. Yeah.
So right, everyone else plenty of time.
That's why we did tag you. Oh, she wears them all the time. I'm very surprised if I go in the morning and she's not wearing the wings.
Oh, that's amazing. I get that question a lot. I have a lot of people ask me, do I just wear them around the house? The answer is absolutely. I actually do. I'll make a new design and I'll like come out of the room and I'm like, honey, look at these wings. And he's like, wow.
You've got to test them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It actually pays. So go ahead.
No, go on.
I said it pays to be married to an engineer who actually helped co-create the patented design behind the wings that make them so durable. So
this is what I was going to say, because they're so unique. Because we've seen quite a few wings in our show, and we were drawn to you straight away. We were like, oh my god, we need these wings.
And it was the movement for me, the fact that they
the corset
words I'm looking for.
allowed them to
move the corset allowed them to, and I love the movement on them. So I started Kayla Douglas Artistry around 6 years ago now. And when I first started, I started off as a special effects makeup artist in Atlanta.
And the funny story of how the wings came about was I actually wanted to test my makeup skills and my costume design skills. So I hired 5 or 6 models, I think it was 5, and we rented a production studio. And I made 6 Brazilian Rio Carnival outfits with all these feathered pieces. I mean, the colors and all this fun stuff. And I made them, and I gave myself 1 month to do 5 costumes, which is absolutely insane looking back at it. Like, I was just sitting there just like attaching feathers and making costumes for like hours on end every single day to make this shoot date. But I work best under pressure. Sometimes if I don't know whether or not something's going to work or not, I'm going to make it work no matter what. So setting a deadline helps me.
Gotta be done.
Yes. And when I posted in the Atlanta group, everyone was like, oh my God, can you make wings? And I was like, I guess I can make wings. and then so I was like, well, if I'm going to make wings, and clearly there's a demand in them, like 6 years ago, I was like, okay, there are already wings out there. So like people are clearly wanting to come to me. Why? Well, you know, so I posted a poll and I asked people what they didn't like about the wings on the market. And a lot of people said that they were too stiff or too heavy. They cut into arms on, you know, plus size models, that it would just not fit correctly. So we made a list of all the things people didn't like about the wings, and then we wrote them down. And Rick and I sat down together and we made 5 different variations of our product before we were like, okay, these are really good quality and they stay together. I'll take the feathers and I'll start yanking on them. And I'm like, okay, these feathers aren't going anywhere, so I know they're good. And I did something utterly like crazy. I did a $700 sale. Imagine, okay, most people don't understand how expensive feathers are because I'm using authentic, you know, ostrich feathers, cruelty free. I'll get into that later. I'll talk about that. I get that question a lot. So the feathers alone cost $500. So when you think of how long and my workload and how much I actually made from every set of wings, and I forgot to mention 20 sets of wings sold within 1 week. And I was like, oh, whoa, pump the brakes. Like, how am I going to make all of these wings? And I actually ended up developing carpal tunnel in my hand for a short-term carpal tunnel. Because I'm sitting here like making wings forever. And I was like, I looked at my expenses, and that's where I really learned what CODB was, where I was like, I'm making not anything for this. But it was the best thing ever because people were like, oh my gosh, these wings are amazing. Like, wow, you know, these are better than insert any name wing brand name here that I have in my studio. And, you know, yours are way cheaper. And at that time, and I was like, okay. Okay, so clearly I see. But my name spread like a wildfire. And here I am now to this day.
Well, you can see why it would spread because they are literally amazing. Like everybody who has used our wings have said how like amazing they feel and look, and like everybody loves them. Like they're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
There's one vlog that we did while we were in WPPI, the time that we met you guys, and I tried them on and I strutted up and down in them. So if anybody wants to see what they look like, there is a vlog of me wearing them.
I'll keep everyone entertained. I'll try and find the link and I'll put it in the comments now.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. I don't know if I've seen that or not. Please tag me on that because I want to share it.
Okay.
I get so many sometimes, and they all come from different facets of like Facebook, Instagram, email, and I try to keep up with them all. And so, yeah, I would love to see it. Just post it back.
I think you might have been off doing something else at the time. So Rick was there and he was like, do you want to try them on? I was like, what a silly question. Of course I want to try them on. So I got up to the end of the aisle and back down again. I was like, Abigail, we're having these wings. I don't want to give them back.
I was likely sneaking away for lunch around that time. It's really hard for me to leave the booth. Plus, I want to talk to everyone, and there are times where Rick will be like, "Shoo, goodbye, I got it. Go eat."
Well, he did a really good job because we bought him.
That is wonderful. I married him for many reasons.
There you go. I'm posting in the comments. While I'm in the comments, let us know if you're watching live, where you're watching from, so we can give you a little shout out. I think that's the link. I think it was day 3, Christy. It opens with you very, very hungover.
No, I love it.
Was it that day?
It was that day.
Oh, nobody needs to see that.
Christy got very, very drunk the night before in the opening part. Was it the opening party? I think it was. Do you know Caroline Tran? Photographer Caroline Tran? Christy nearly took her off her feet, like that. She was like, "Oh, Caroline Tran," and like tackled her, like to give her a hug. And I was like, "Oh my God."
No. She was happy to have the hug. She told me I was cute.
The next day, after she got over it, it was extreme.
I love it.
I was a little bit merry.
You know, there's actually a day in WPPI. There was a day in WPPI that you can actually see. I think someone, and it's so bad too, because WPPI was like, "Hey, Kayla, do you want to be a part of this official WPPI? Like, real?" And it's literally the day after my VIP party where I have like, I'm wearing like usually I dress up actually for my booth. I enjoy it. You know, it's really rare that you'll see me with a t-shirt on at a conference. And I'm wearing like a tied up t-shirt and like khaki jeans and my hair is up in a bun. And I was like, yeah, because I got like no sleep the night before. The cleanup, and I think I was sponsoring a sunrise session too that morning, so I had to get wings out, and I was like, oh my God. WPPI is always a whirlwind for us.
Yeah. Well, it opens at 7 o'clock. Opens 7 o'clock the next morning, and Christy is still drunk, I'm pretty sure. We're on our way to breakfast and she's like definitely still drunk.
When I went back and I had a nap, and when I woke back up, I didn't even realize that had happened. I didn't remember breakfast, so I was definitely still drunk.
WPPI is meant for that. It's okay.
Yeah. And the problem is, what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas when Abigail is vlogging every single day. I literally vlog every day.
What happens in Vegas does stay in Vegas. It just stays on the internet a lot longer.
Yeah, it does. Oh my goodness.
We have had a comment asking, is there a website to be able to purchase these wings? There is a website. I've got it. It's in the description below. Should be in the description below. I will also add that into the comments now. And there's a Black Friday sale going on. Kayla, can you tell us all about your Black Friday sale, please? While I go off again and ignore you all. Sorry.
Absolutely. And I did see that you asked if I shipped internationally. I do ship internationally. I have clients all over. I just shipped to New Zealand not too long ago. So I have no problem with that. As far as my Black Friday sale goes, it's the largest sale of the year. It's going on until November 15th because I started it at the end of October. I actually started it on the 15th of October, and then we got hit with a ton of hurricanes, and I basically abandoned everything. I didn't answer anybody. It was crazy. So I just went ahead and extended it from November 1st through the 15th. So you've got, what is it? Today's the 11th, right? 11/11.
Yeah.
So you have 4 more days of the Black Friday sale. They're up to $700 off on my big Raven wings. They are made for dancers. Sony used them in the booth at WPPI last year.
Oh my God, I love those wings.
Oh, they're my favorite. They're actually, well, I would have to get up and show you. I could if you'd like to see them, but they're massive. I have some hanging up to the left of me.
Let's have a look. Tips. We love these.
Yeah,
we've talked about these. Yeah, you do, yeah.
Tell everyone.
We've talked about these so many times, haven't we, since we saw them? Because it was a toss up between these and the wings we got. They are beautiful. Look at them.
So these are folded in half. The corset back, what we're talking about, can actually make them get wider to fit all size models comfortably. So
look.
I'm not going to put the other one on my shoulder.
No, that's fine.
But they completely move around. They were used on a dancer in the Sony booth last year to showcase the A9. But you can use these.
They're amazing.
Pretty much. Yeah, and then you can actually switch out all the straps. I put nude ones on there because they're the highest quality that you can get. But you can remove them and put like clear straps on if you wanted to. So the corset back on the back, you can actually undo and make them wider to fit more comfortably on your shoulders. So yeah. The raven ones, and these are gold tips.
I love them.
I hand paint all of the tips of these feathers gold for any of my gold tips.
Where do you get the time? How long do they take you? No, seriously, how long do they take you to make today?
Hang on, let me put this up.
Okay.
So for every set of wings, it kind of varies on which side of wings that you have. Like a child-sized pair clearly would take a lot less time than that pair. That pair in particular takes me about 20 hours to 30 hours to make. Typically, when I'm making a set of wings, I will take 1 week and I'll make a bunch of bases. I'll look at my orders and I'll make a bunch of bases, and that's all I do for that whole week. And then I will split it up based off of production timeline of who ordered first, and then I will put it all out on a nice little calendar. It's the only time I'm organized in my life, is when I'm working on a production schedule. And I will I would literally sit on the floor and I watch true crime documentaries, to be honest with you, for hours on end, or something silly on the TV. For up to 20 hours. I'll usually take like a little bit of a break, but I split it up.
That's my go-to as well. I listen to true crime podcasts while I'm editing newborn babies.
What Abigail does is she puts a true crime podcast on to drown me out, so she doesn't have to listen to what I've got to say. That's what she does.
She interrupts me too often. I'm trying to edit and she keeps stopping what I'm doing. And if I lose if I'm halfway through something and she stops me, I've got to start again. And I'm like, you're slowing me down. Just leave me to my true crime podcast.
Rick takes all of the images. For those who don't know, Rick is also a photographer as well. He takes all of the images on my website. And I am notorious for stopping him mid-edit all the time. And he's just used to it by now. And I've actually hit a point where I can tell that he's tuned me out, because he's so busy on doing. But I talk a lot by nature. So it's probably the best when I'm in my little space and I'm working on wings for him. So he can actually get stuff done.
Yeah, I tune Christy out quite a lot. Can you tell us about the cruelty-free feathers? We touched on it a little bit earlier.
Yes. So I get all the time that question on cruelty-free feathers. So when I first started this, the first question that I had was, how do these people source the feathers? And there are tons of places that you can go for feathers and companies. However, I did find one wholesaler that was able to answer me. If they couldn't give me the answer of exactly what do these feathers come from? So they gave me a little bit of advice. I didn't know this when I first started. Did you know ostriches molt multiple times a year? So they do molt multiple times a year. Yes. And it's actually good for them. So they partner with a bunch of poultry farmers all around the United States. And they're located, as weird as it is, in California, Missouri. So I thought it was California. And I got to walk their entire warehouse, where I got to actually see what was going on this past year on our tour. And it was amazing. So they sterilize all of the feathers, like these, their partners send in the feathers, and also I didn't know this, ostrich feathers you can cut like hair. I don't think they just get them from molt, and they grow back. I had no idea.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Did not know. Yeah, I did not know that. So that was the more you know. But if they couldn't answer me on exactly like how they are sourced and are they sourced ethically, I would not go with them. And there's quite a few out there. Don't buy your feathers from Amazon. Don't buy your feathers from Amazon. No. Most of the times those are not cool. So my feather supplier is located here in the US, and then they show all of their certification and everything on there, which is really nice. Because also when you buy your feathers on Amazon, there's a potential of them not to be sterilized properly as well. So yeah.
That's what I didn't even think about it.
The whole sterilizing thing. I didn't even think of that either. And obviously that's a massive thing for especially pregnant women.
Yes.
Yeah, we should have thought about
it. No, it's okay. It's okay. So you don't have to worry about at least my feathers that I get from. Yeah. But yeah, fun fact, I did try to dye my own feathers at one point in time because I was making a set of pride wings for a pride parade a while back ago that someone requested, and I ran out of bright orange feathers. And my supplier was like, it's going to be about another week before we can get them for you. And fun fact, ostrich hair is very similar to real hair. Ostrich feathers are similar to real hair. So when you get them wet, they clump up like bad. And it's a painstaking process. If anyone tells you they dye their own feathers, they might, but it's a whole long thing. You know, I do that to the professionals because people ask me if I dye them myself, and I do not. But you have to sit there and comb them out every step of the way and every few hours for them to fluff out, starch them, and then it's a whole thing. So.
Oh my God, that doesn't.
Do you know what? There is so much that goes into this that we didn't even know.
Oh yes. Oh, thank you, Nick.
They are incredible. I know I keep saying it, but like I don't know any other way to describe them. Every time somebody's ever mentioned them, we're like, oh my God, you just need to feel them, you need to touch them, you need to wear them, like the best wings. And I don't feel like people who are not in like creative industries or like photography and things like that, they don't really understand when you're talking about wings. They're like, okay, great, it's like costume wings. I'm like, they're not though. They're so much more.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I get that a lot. It's so funny when I tell people what I do for a living. You know, it's such a funny conversation, especially people who are not in the photography industry. They're like, you make hot wing? You have a hot wing joint? And I'm like, no, not chicken wings. Actual that big feathered. The best way to describe them is the big giant Victoria's Secret angel wings.
I was literally about to say that, because whenever we describe it, they're like, oh, like Victoria's Secrets. I'm like, well, yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
You have to be careful with that though, because everyone's like, oh, I'm talking to a celebrity. And I'm like, no. I mean, no, not like that. But just a visual of what I do. But yeah, every single feather is placed by me, by hands. I actually have no feeling in my fingertips any longer. And I can't go get my nails done because I'm always, fidgeting and sewing and.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It is all worth it, definitely.
It is all worth it. We appreciate it anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You've also been doing a deal on custom, is it ball gowns or like fantasy gowns?
Yeah, so I do bridal, but I'm trying to expand. So I'm doing a deal right now, and what it is I am expanding into the fantasy market and a lot of photographers who are wanting these couture gowns. I'm looking to do ball gowns because I enjoy all of the detail and the frilliness that comes with them. It's a lot more fun. So I'm doing a discount on them right now for $1,600. Usually my ball gowns go from $2,000 up, depending on how crazy beaded they are. So yes, I'm doing that, and that's with some form of creative freedom. I will do my best to mark off whatever, like if you're like, I don't like this kind of sleeve, can we do this? Can we stick in this color palette? And do I want florals or bling? I'll listen to that, you know what I mean? But it's just a way to really test my skills as an artist. But yeah.
I love that gown.
That one behind you looks amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is so sparkly. I feel like it's not doing it any justice. I wish I could move my my web camera, but it's like really stuck on there. But yeah, it's very sparkly.
Is it on your Instagram?
It is on my Instagram. I do have a video on my on my Instagram where you can see a little bit more of a detailed video. The train on this, you can't even see it. I wish I can show you, is like balled up behind me because it is about the size of this room. It's a cathedral, massive train on this thing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I need an event I can wear one too. Like, I want to be able to wear one of these gowns. Like, do you know what? I read a lot of fantasy, like fairy books and stuff, and there's like these balls that they do. I don't know if they I don't know where they are, but they do like fae balls where they all wear these big massive gowns. I feel like I need to go to one of them.
I can hook you up with someone on that. I actually yeah, I know all of these people. So there's a place here in Florida called Alexia Events, and they do all the fantasy ball gowns. I am partnered, not with Disney directly. Disney is very, it's too much to partner directly. However, I'm a preferred vendor for all of the Disney brides will come to me for their
Nice.
bridal gowns. So I get to do luxury, like fantasy bridal gowns for them, and that's really awesome. But within that group, I found Alexia, who is talking to me in the future about doing the fantasy balls.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I'm doing this special right now, is so I can also showcase that artistry. I'm working on 2 celestial gowns right now that I'm really excited about.
No, I'm very excited also.
I tried contacting Disney to do a photo shoot in Disney, because we had a client come to us and ask, can we do the maternity shoot in Disney? And they were like, nope. And I was like, just let me in.
Please.
I'm not gonna make a fuss.
It's difficult once you're in. It took a lot for me to even become a preferred vendor. It's not like directly with Disney, but it's all of the coordinators who do the weddings for Disney, that I'm in with. But it's very difficult to get in with them. But I can do, I want to do a princess bridal line so bad, because that's kind of my clientele, but I couldn't use any Disney names. I can say Princess Collection, but you don't want to do that, because they will come after you with Disney.
Yeah.
No,
it's just not worth it.
No, and we've talked about this a couple of times with me. I think on the podcast a few times, where people are using the names. It's okay to hint to something and and be inspired by something and do something inspired by, but just don't say, oh, Grinch Sessions. You set yourself up to fail.
Don't do that.
Every single time they get cease and desist. Every time.
Yeah, I know. Just don't do it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I thought we were going to get a nice little trip to Disney to fly out to do some of these maternity shoots shot in Disney, but no, they wouldn't let us.
No.
Never mind.
No. I just got on. I will be, like I said, I'll do those retreats in the future and everything, but I'm actually with a what's it called, travel agent company to help make those more easy, and then they've kind of got me in with the Disney stuff and all of that now too. So let me know if you need help with Disney. I have an annual pass. It's an hour away from me.
Need help with Disney.
It's literally right down the road from me. I'll be there.
What is family is the biggest Disney family you'll come across. It's just,
we are a very
she'll
big
sit
Disney
and
family.
talk to you about Disney forever.
Well, Disney, but Universal now. We've turned into a Universal family. It's escalated.
I have an annual pass to both, and I'll be in Universal next week. I'm taking my stepdaughter.
Oh. Just rub her in, go on.
We're hoping the next trip we're hoping for is January 2026, which seems so far away right now. But we want to wait until all the fuss has died down for Epicus, and then come and visit and be able to, because we can only book one day at a time otherwise. Is it the same for the US? If you stay in the US?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't want to only come for one day. So we're going to wait till 2026.
It seems far away, but it's going to go like a blink of the eye, because I just looked on my memories and it was a year ago we were in California traveling the US, and I was like, wow, that does not seem like a full year ago. So it goes by so quick.
Whenever we refer to whenever we think about WPPI, it's nearly a year again. This time last year,
we've been calling it last year for the last 6 months.
We have, yeah. But
I was
this time last year that we booked our tickets. So
yeah, gonna be around again now.
It's mad, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Do you do any of the photography shows?
What is it? I'm sorry.
Sorry. Are you doing any other photography shows this year or 2025?
Yes. So I'm definitely going to WPPI, and I will be a floater at other shows. This year I'm investing a lot into the gowns. So going as a vendor to these events are quite expensive. So I'm trying to kind of figure out which ones are kind of worth it to go to. WPPI I'm definitely going to be at, and I have a VIP party going on at WPPI this year at the Parisian Palace, which is massive. It's insane. It's incredibly ornate. Yeah, it's the most ornate building I've ever seen, paintings on the ceilings and everything. So I'm very excited about that. So I will definitely be at WPPI. I don't know yet if I'm going to be at Imaging. I will show face, but I won't have a booth there. No, not this year.
Okay. We've only ever done WPPI in the US, so we're just putting feelers out to see what's about.
Yeah, there's been plenty of things that we have wanted to do, but it's just, do you know what? To fly to the US is just so expensive. So with the cost of everything else as well. But
yeah. So hopefully we'll be back in 2025.
Yeah.
I attend almost every single one of them. So I will show face. I partner with so many companies. So a lot of times they're using my product. So I'm there as a floater for certain things, and I come and I bring them, and I sponsor a lot of workshops. So I'm always kind of there floating around and helping as much as I possibly can wherever is needed. So I likely will be at Imaging. I just haven't. January, my brain is like flooded with what's happening right now, and then I will show up if I show up in January. But definitely WPPI.
Nice. Yeah, to be fair, you've had a lot going on the last month with all the hurricanes and everything. There was a lot of stress.
Yeah. The last month was kind of like a monkey wrench and everything. No one expected to have 2 hurricanes back to back. For those of you guys who may not know, I don't know how much you guys get reporting on anything like that in the UK, but we had Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene. Helene happened first, and within 2 weeks after that, we had Hurricane Milton, and both basically hit our area. Thankfully, our personal home, even though we were in evacuation zone A, meaning you've got to go no matter what, we survived, and we didn't have any damage. Our neighbors 3 blocks down had 4 feet of water in their home. So, that was a lot. They built our home on a mound. I'm assuming this is a new build. We rent this place. We don't own this one because we just moved to this area. But I assume they built it on a mound because of the flooding, because we are not far from a canal.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was watching live streams of the storm coming in because we had friends that was out there at the time, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be mental. And it wasn't just the hurricane hitting that side. It was like tornadoes coming in from the other side of the coast, wasn't there, on the east coast? And it was just mental.
Yeah, and no one expected either, North Carolina, Rick's parents are in Asheville, so that got, really, really devastated with the flooding. And you're just not prepared for something like that in the mountains. No. It's not something that you think about, having hurricane damage like that. So that just goes to show the scale of, how devastating these storms were. So it did put a monkey wrench on us. We had to evacuate twice within that time frame. And just the travel alone took 12 hours, what normally would be a 5.5-hour drive, because everyone trying to evacuate at once. So all of the roads are backed up, even back roads. And it was very exhausting both times. So I'm glad that we're pretty much out of hurricane season now. Fingers crossed, you never know.
And you know what?
I'm glad you missed the worst of it.
Oh, absolutely. But people don't realize when you're running a small business, when things happen, that's got to take priority, isn't it? And it's really hard to deal with things going on when you're trying to run your business at the same time. I'm really glad that things weren't affected too badly for you, but it's still as much as it's scary and you've got to get out and you've got to think about yourself and prioritize that, it's still really hard to put your business on back burner, isn't it?
I was still answering messages the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Thankfully, I am really good at communication with my customers and letting them know everything that's happening. I'll send out a mass email just hey, just so you know, this is happening. Your order may or may not be delayed, and this is why. And mostly if you offer that form of communication and you're just really good with my clients, they were all really understanding. But yes, I was answering emails the entire time. We were in our hotel, and I was sitting here just oh my gosh. And I was please go home to a home. But yes, I'm very grateful that we did. So.
Oh. Well, I hope the rest of your Black Friday sale goes seamlessly, and your ball gown sale, because everybody needs to have some Kayla Douglas Artistry and Kayla Douglas Bridal in their life, because it is amazing. Thank you so much for talking to us tonight, or today for you. We've loved it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you both for having me on. It was so wonderful.
And I feel like we've had like a little, I know all I was going to say was I feel like we've had like a little sneak peek into like what's to come, and I'm very excited.
Yeah. Oh yes, I'm very excited. Keep following me because I'm releasing some really cool stuff coming up. That's all I can say.
Put this on you before we end, and we will. So don't forget that our memberships are live. So if you want any bonus content, our memberships, there's a join button somewhere below. And we'll see you all soon for another Monday Night Live. Bye, guys.